Hey everybody, welcome to a Monday morning edition of Box Seats. Hope you all enjoyed your weekend. My name is Frank Holder. I'm your host. I'm with Talent. I'm with Fig. You guys have known them. They've been in the comedy game for a very long time. They've been in films. They've been in TV commercials. They've been on comedy specials. They toured all over the country. And now, guess what? Now they're getting ready to sit up here and talk sports. I hope you guys had a good weekend. How's everything?
Yeah. It was definitely a good weekend for the light-skinned brothers, huh?
I don't know about all that. You know, we took some hits. Especially on my football picks. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Man.
You know, I always start out the show talking about having a COVID report. And then my COVID report today is going to be Jim Boeheim of Syracuse tested positive. Him and another staff member tested positive for the coronavirus, and they had to leave the facility, which is kind of crazy because, as we all know, it's the time of year when you're talking about basketball, and especially in the college sports world. Like, it's college basketball is right now. So that might be a serious hit to Syracuse. But now, here's a story. I want to move on for that. Here's a story that I didn't see anywhere, but I saw it on Wall Street Journal. I think this should be the top story of the day. Now, of course, we're going to talk about the NFL and everything else now. And it's going to be particularly interesting to YouTube. Now, here's the thing. The New York Giants cornerback named DeAndre Baker, who got cut from the team, in February because of he got caught playing dice and doing a couple other so-called illegal things. This morning, all charges were dropped against him because the attorney who had filed the charges against him got caught extorting him and other women he was representing. Now, I'm gonna just say this for the record. I don't know how much this goes on and everything else out there because obviously we can't really tell. But extorting a player who gets cut and released from the Giants, he's not getting no money. He's not allowed the facility. He was basically banned from the NFL until this morning because now he's a free agent. He can basically come in. But Talent, is that not like the most worst thing? My thing is, I think they should literally file reverse charges on you like they're doing and give you guaranteed prison time if you get caught doing that. That's my opinion. What you think?
I totally agree with you. We've been going back and forth with this about all accusations. For so long, accusations have no repercussions. So now, the same way you were going to charge and put some sort of repercussions on the person that if they was guilty, if you find out that somebody's falsifying that, they need to be charged as well. This is a crazy story, man. I wonder how much of this goes on with other players and stuff.
Right.
I just extort you. Yeah.
Yeah, and they can't get up. Let's say if you're a player and you're doing something bad, Fig, right? Let's say you're doing something bad. And you say, yes, you did do it. But then somebody who's in your circle comes and tells on you and then threatens to extort you. Like, how's that, what's your thought process in that? Like, that's horrible to me.
Yeah, man. First off, this is typical New York. He was playing dice, yo.
Dice.
I mean, we got a casino, man. There's a casino right down the way.
He was doing dice
right in Jersey, man. They got a casino. He could have took a trip to Vegas. I'm like, and why is that a criminal offense? That's all. Why is shooting dice a criminal?
No,
I think extortion thing.
I think shooting dice. I think shooting dice and betting against. I think that's illegal. I didn't look that part up into the depth of it. I just think it's a horrible thing that that and you try to extort them. But I didn't mean to cut you off. What was your thought?
I swear to God, I know he was playing CeeLo.
4, 5, 6.
Right. Yo, 1,000, not 4 better.
Y'all really wrong for that.
Extortion, yo. That's what see. Extortion. It's called extortion on the low level, but on the big level, they call it blackmail. You know what I mean? Which is horrible, man. Man, that stuff. I would imagine that type of stuff happens all the time. When you have high-end celebrities that get caught doing something, it may not even be illegal. I'm sure that if a high-end athlete gets caught, maybe, with infidelity, cheating on his wife or something like that, that somebody might try and extort him for a few dollars and stuff like that, man. To me, that's like real gutter. That's like low level, man. You know what I mean? Because in order for somebody to do that to you, they have to know you or be close to you, which is That's dirty, man. It's just dirty. Yeah. And if like Talent said, if you get caught and you doing something like that, then you should get the same punishment that the person was going to get before they got caught.
Right.
Yep.
That's fair.
Right. Now let's move on. Let's talk about a couple of everything. Let's talk about something that everybody's talking about. Okay, if you ain't seen the catch right now, you ain't cut on the TV. You ain't cut on the TV in any way, shape, or form. But I'm gonna throw this out there to you, Talent. Oh, I forgot to mention the Masters. Dustin Johnson, he won the Masters over the weekend with the lowest score ever. He was ranked number 1 in the world. Boom! I got that out there. That was golf. That was for my man Bobby. But I do got to talk about this catch, this throw, this catch. It was phenomenal. Every time I see it on the replay, I can't not watch it again. You know what I mean? It was something. It was something that could be something that I think would probably go down as the best catch in probably the year. Might be one of the best catches of the last 5 years. Right? What would you say, Talent? I mean, it's phenomenal.
I don't think we're gonna see another catch like that, man. Not this year. That was amazing, bro. Like, it wasn't even like the last Hail Mary I think I seen was like tipped around, you know what I mean? And then you end up with it. That's like a lucky thing. This was real skill.
Yeah.
This was real dynamite skill. Like, yo, I about him, I don't sleep that night. I do this all night.
Yeah. Hey, Fig, check this out.
Nobody can say nothing.
Fig, check this out. They took a picture and put on the internet of his hands, right, with the Jumpman logo. I don't know if either one of you saw this. The Jumpman logo on his hand, and the Bills players all had Adidas under and they all under. So I'm throwing that in to say to you, Fig, can you imagine if you were in the marketing company right now for Nike, Michael Jordan's Jumpman company right now, how happy you must be this morning? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's absolutely crazy, man. Yo. I don't know whether the GM in Houston got fired, but if he didn't before yesterday, it'd be a good time to fire him for trading D-Hop to the Cardinals, man. How you do that? This dude, yo, it's insane the fact that this dude got traded, man. But that catch was just like, it was bananas, man. I was just like, the only thing I thought about after I saw that, I was like, you know what? This is something typical that you might see from Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, because Aaron Rodgers is like the king of the Hail Mary in the NFL. So I was like, yo, that's the only thing that I could think of. But the way that Kyler Murray got it off and the way that D-Hop went up with 3 dudes draped all over him, man, it's just like, it was like man amongst boys, man. It was crazy.
I would say this.
It would have just been another catch. What makes it so spectacular is the kind of catch it was in a timely fashion. The game's on the line. This is it. Ain't no more ticks on this clock or nothing, man. It's do or die, and you throw a perfect pass. And for him to go up, 6 hands around him. Yeah. And for him, think of what the focus that had to be for you. It wasn't, like I said, it was no fumbling. I mean, he just caught it like nobody was there. And we was practicing.
But Talent, you forgot this part. We play ball. He jumped over those 3 dudes. He jumped over, and they caught it with 2 hands, not one. You know when you play
not
ball,
1 hand, 2 hands.
With 2 hands.
I said it reminded me of an old NBA Michael Jordan poster.
Right.
They got mad posters with Mike going up and 3 or 4 bodies trying to go up with him and bam. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it did.
Yo, do you know what they're calling that now? I know there's gonna be a poster of that. You know what they calling it? The catch. Remember when John Starks made the dunk in the garden?
The catch. Yep.
Now they calling this the catch.
And it should be called the catch because it was one of the best, if not the best, Hail Mary pass I've ever seen. So I'm gonna ask you this. Now, Talent. Because after yesterday's results of the game, should Kyler Murray now be in the conversation of MVP from what he's done? Because a couple of people have slipped. So the question to you now is, should Kyler Murray be in that conversation or not?
Yeah. This definitely puts you in that conversation because when you look at the MVP at the end of the season, they start doing their numbers and adjustments. Highlight reels that get embedded in your head that you can't forget. That helps push along that argument. That's happening for every MVP of every sport. When you say MVP, you could point to some highlights and go, look at this, look at it, and look at it. All he got to do is remain mostly consistent.
Yeah,
for itself.
I have to agree with that. Fig, what do you think? You agree?
Yeah,
You
man, I think so, definitely, because if you look at the conference that he's in, everybody is 6-3. Mm-hmm. He caught them. Though everybody in that conference is 6-3. Seattle, all of them in that conference is 6-3.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, he's got to be there because what's this, like his second year?
Yes.
I think I said this like a show before. He's putting up better numbers than Lamar Jackson did when he won the MVP. Was it last year?
Yeah,
last year he won the MVP. Kyler Murray's numbers are better at this point in the season than Lamar Jackson was at the same time last year, and Lamar Jackson won MVP. And I just can't see. I mean, he's got. I don't know if he's gonna win it, but he's definitely got to be in the conversation. Definitely.
That's exactly what I said. But speaking of Lamar Jackson's team last night came into the Foxborough. They lost last night. I guess the question I'm going to make, because I got surprised. I ain't going to lie. I did not see the Ravens losing that. I guess the question now is, do you think the Patriots are getting ready to right the ship and getting ready to be on track to make a run for the playoffs? Or do you think that, they still ain't going to make the playoffs? Now just one off. What's your thoughts, Talent?
No, I think they're on the target to righting the ship. I said that a week ago, even in a closer game, when Cam, you start to see Cam get that flow back. You know what I mean? And that it all boils down to that, Cam getting that flow back, because you're the quarterback. You're that link in the chain that's the do or die. Mm-hmm. So with his flow back, it definitely in the last 2 weeks, you're starting to see that they're about to right this ship. And I expected nothing less. I mean, barring his run-in with COVID-19 and slowing him down and making him sluggish, barring seeing that, we all knew Cam was coming in to make this a staple season for himself, to set himself up for the future.
On that note, Fig, on the flip side, do you think that Lamar Jackson is now completely out of the MVP talk?
He's probably out because of the way they've been playing. But I think he can still make it up. But yesterday was an anomaly, man. What did they call that? The Monsoon Bowl? I mean, it had a hurricane, and there was tornado watches all in the Northeast last night, man. That was like some of the craziest, but I'm surprised they still played. I thought at halftime they was gonna go get flippers and start swimming while they were playing. It was ridiculous. Yo, the thing about Lamar Jackson is that I won't put that all on him last night, because it had to be maybe about 5 or 6 drop balls. And, I mean, he got no help from his receivers last night. I mean, it was a horrible weather. It was just crazy. You can't make no excuses in sports though, but that was not on Lamar Jackson last night, because receivers dropped like stuff that was like right in front, like in their hands. They was dropping like easy passes.
Not only that, the weather definitely has something to do with it. That's why I'm like, it could be an anomaly. The weather has something to do with it. The receivers are dropping the ball, everything else. But unfortunately, that all that's tallied in, for the MVP race. People just don't care. You know what I mean? Like they say, hey, it is what it is. So bad, because everybody else got to play in that same weather too. You know what I mean?
You're right. Yep.
You know what I mean?
I just think it what was it, like 8 games so far? I think no, 9. Yesterday was 9.
And some teams is 9, some teams is 8 because of the
right.
Right. Yeah. So
but I think he has enough season left to right the ship and at least get in the conversation. Will he win it? I doubt it, because there's too many other quarterbacks that are doing better than he is. So I don't think he's gonna win it. I think he'll be in the running if he can right the ship going forward though.
All right, now I got some breaking news. I got to come back to the NFL. I got some breaking news that just jumped off. I just got the alert. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder are trading Chris Paul to the Phoenix Suns. The deal will be finalized this afternoon. So with that being said, Talent, when you hear that Chris Paul, who wanted to go to LA, he wanted to go to New York, it looks like things didn't work out. He's definitely going right now, as of this, he's going to the Phoenix Suns. Now, I don't see right now, it doesn't say just yet who they're trading him away for, but Chris Paul is going in a deal sending Chris Paul Abel Nader to the Suns for Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, and Halen Lakeek. And the 22 first-round pick. They're going. That's the swap. Now, when you hear that, do you like the thought of Chris Paul playing, of course, with the Phoenix Suns and Devin Booker?
That's tough, man. Given how they look though in that bubble, it's not like he's not. I don't think he's not trading down. If you look at the components he had, the team he's leaving, and you look at the components they have, he's kind of going cross board. So he can. I think he can do some things over there. It may be a pit stop or not. We don't know. This could be the beginning of another trade. But if he's staying there, it's Chris Paul, man. I got the utmost confidence in Chris Paul. I see him doing major things with Phoenix.
Okay, Fig. I think it's kind of scary putting putting Chris Paul with Devin Booker. I think that could be a pretty scary team. I mean, you saw how Phoenix played last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you put Chris Paul on that team. They already was the team that could. You know what I mean? They already did some things. Look in the bubble. They were 8-0, what 9-0, 8-0. They didn't lose in the bubble. Now, granted, they lost some pieces. But this might be, something interesting. What you think when you hear this, Fake?
Just personally, I hate to see young players move for one aging star. I've seen this before with New York when we got Melo, and we traded away a lot of young players away, and it didn't work out. But the one thing that they do have Ayton, which is a big center. That dude. He was balling out last year, and they got Booker. But now my problem is who do they put around these dudes? You got Paul, you got Booker, you got Ayton in the middle. Now who are they playing? Because who they playing with them? Because you got rid of these young, up and coming players. So I don't know what the team is going to look like. You named about 4 or 5 players. I'm like, man, that's the whole team.
Yeah, it looked like listen, it's Chris Paul and Abel Nader to the Suns for 1, 2, 3, 4 players and a draft pick. So they, obviously Chris Paul is the piece that's making the whole thing go. But Chris Paul is again, he, like I said before, he is the guy who makes the team go also. So now you put him with Devin Booker. Like I said, Phoenix could be scary, and they're not done yet. Nobody's done yet because the draft is on Wednesday, and everybody's moving some pieces. Speaking of moving pieces, talent. I know you heard this morning. Dennis Schroeder got traded to LA for Danny Green and the number 28 pick. Now, I think in my, me and my Pelican brief, we discussed this exact same trade Thursday or Friday. Did I not say this? I said this on the show. I said this is going to probably happen. Now, if this does happen, do you think the Lakers keep Rajon Rondo and pair him up with Schroeder? Or do you think they definitely moving on, and them getting Schroeder is basically saying, okay, Rondo, thank you, but we're not going to be able to keep you because Rondo, if he stays, he got to stay for a discount because they're not going to be able to pay him.
But I thought we all agreed and thought that Rondo was going to move and chase that money. Again, a guy with chips already, so that anticipation's gone. That thrive, if you will. Now it's time to get paid because if I'm Rondo, I'm on the downslide of my career. I'm not in my prime. I'm not at the beginning. I'm on the other side of that hill. And I don't know if I got 4 more, 5 more. I don't know. So it's time to start stacking chips because you never know when an agent or somebody want to extort you. Take some of that money from you. Got to stack that money.
The thing is, he's right about that too. But the thing is, too, Rondo got 2 championship rings from 2 separate teams.
Right.
And was an integral part. And he wasn't the dude came off the bench and was like the last man, like the 11th man. He was an integral part in the Celtics winning because at the time he started and he came off the bench. He was like he could have been the 6th man in several of the playoff series when they got it. The Lakers would not have won that championship without Rajon Rondo.
Not at all.
Not at all. So what's your thought process on that?
I think is like Talon said, once you win and we're talking about the 2 most storybook franchises in the NBA, and he got a chip with both of them. I don't think he's probably the first player to ever do something like that. I don't know if they got the money to pay him. The Lakers, I don't think so. They got AD, they got Bron. I don't think they're trying. Look, there's no way that Schroeder can replace what Rondo did. He's He's good, but he's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing.
I disagree, by the way.
What?
What you just said.
Okay.
You know what? Steve Ballmer might be willing to give up some money and move a Rondo over to the Clippers. The Clippers with a Rondo, woo!
I like that.
That'd be funky.
Yeah, then they could go to the championship. Speaking of the Lakers, we got to talk about also that, of course, AD, we heard over the weekend, AD opted out. He's now officially free agent. Some people in LA are panicking because they don't understand what's going on. Let's be honest. The deal what's going on right now, he's getting a bigger contract. He's getting ready to land a huge contract with the Lakers, and it's about the years. But talent, you don't think he's staying in LA, right? You think it's something.
Hey, all I could do is go off what a man told me a long time ago in the agent field, is that they were putting together this master plan to rebuild New York and shock the world. So, hey, he opted out. I mean, my thing is, if you want to extend the contract, you really don't have to opt out. You know that, right?
Well,
you opt out to test the market.
Yeah, it depends.
You don't have to. If I want to stay where I'm at, I don't have to opt out. I can just say, this is how much I want. And then we do it. When they opt out, they are testing the market. The reason you opt out.
Okay, let's be clear. He's opting out, Fig, so he can test the market, but also so he can get the exact price of his market share, so he can get a new contract that will basically make him get paid more per year. That's what I think he's doing. He's getting right now. He opted out of a $28.7 million option. Opted out of, and he knows he's the best, one of the best big men in the league. So when he opted out, did you panic, or you know he's going back to the Lakers, or you think he's going to the Knicks?
Hey man, listen. You know what? The thing that I heard is that he opted out and he wanted to test the free agent market.
Yeah.
Those were the exact words.
Yeah.
I'm like, that means he might stay and he might go. I'm like, this is something that I don't know how many weeks ago. This may have been a couple of months ago. Talent said something about this.
Yeah.
About AD going to New York. I mean, listen, as a New York Knicks fan, man, let me tell you. We had no excitement like that, man. Frank, you in Boston. You get excitement every year. Y'all got a winning squad. In New York, we ain't had nothing. We get something like AD, we gonna make some noise, man. You know what I mean? We gonna be relevant.
You would. But I just want to say, for the record, both of y'all are smoking that stuff. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. My man is not leaving the Lakers. He's gonna stay there with LA because he already knows he loves LA. He loves the town. He loves
yeah. We've heard all that before. Nobody loves a city like they love New York. Know this: if he comes to New York, Talon will be sitting in the box seat.
All right, now let's talk about the other big thing that's happened over the weekend. Hell, it happened in the last 24 hours. James Harden is putting word out there that he thinks it's great. It'd be a great idea for him to go to New Jersey Nets. Now, a couple of
Brooklyn,
that's what I meant. A couple of players have said, you know what, that it don't look like it. You know, Ray Allen specifically, he came out and said he doesn't think that's going to be a good fit at all. And after I read his explanation, I was like, you know what? I love what he said, because he said there's only one ball. The ball won't move. Somebody's going to get their feelings hurt. And to make a long story short, without getting too much into it, to make a long story short, he just doesn't think the camaraderie will be there because somebody is going to be more greedy in the ball. Sound like he was leaning towards Kyrie Irving with that. But anyway, what's your thoughts when you heard that?
Well, you know, I gave this some thought, and now I'm saying to myself, because my initial response before was based on this alpha male leader franchise James Harden, but I think we forgot about the six-man James Harden, the team player James Harden. If he goes into Brooklyn and falls back to that mentality, like, yo, y'all already was here, y'all gonna be running it, I'm just gonna be on the floor doing my thing, they will be a problem, dude. If he can go back to that mentality of it ain't all on me, so he's not ball hogging like he does, because the dude got skills, but he's forced into that leadership role where he has the whole team on his shoulders. You playing with KD and Kyrie and a great supporting cast, deep bench, and I could get to lay back and kind of like, you know, mosey along with, you know, James Harden's like a 40, 50-point guy every now and then. And I give you 20, 25, you got a monster team now.
Yeah, I can't even disagree with that. Fig, what's your thought process when you hear all this?
You know, to me, it sounds like insurance.
In what way?
KD's coming off an Achilles, which most players don't come back from. Kyrie is injury prone. Like his whole career, he's been injury prone with his knees and stuff like that. You get a dude like James Harden, you don't have to play these dudes that hard. You know what I mean? They don't have to play hard. They don't have to play long minutes. You get to rest them a little bit through the regular season, and Harden gets an opportunity to win. I'm not even sure Harden needs to come off the bench. I think I was listening to somebody say, look, Harden is used to playing the point. He could play the point, have KD as a forward, and Kyrie as the shooting guard. What you gonna do with that team? I don't care. You can put me and Talent on that team. We can still win.
Y'all can take it back and forth up and down the court. Y'all sure could.
I'm gonna have to rest a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. If you could just, you be the dude on the end, like y'all just play offense and I just play defense. Yeah.
Yes, basically. One way. That's it.
Ball anyway, I'll be on defense. Don't worry about it. Yeah, y'all could win, but you got to run back. Either one of y'all got to run. Yeah, y'all not gonna win. But anyway, speaking of the Phoenix Suns talent, Phoenix is also got in contact with the Lakers because they're trying to inquire a continuous deal. They're trying to inquire about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They want to add him on the team squad too. Now, if you add him, I think that now they have a great shot of being in the Final Four of the Western Conference teams. Being in the top 4 teams. Yeah. If you add, you know what I mean? Because Caldwell Pope is a beast. That boy, he can slash and he can shoot. But what's your thought process when you hear about this talent? If he ends up,
I don't know about top 4, top 6 maybe, because that West Coast, a lot of teams we're forgetting about. But I agree with you.
They would beat some of those teams. I think they would beat the Dallases and they would beat maybe the Utahs and then what I mean. I think they could beat them because
that keep them in that 6 range, but 4 range. Now you're saying they're going to be these teams that just shocked us, the Denvers and all that. I don't know. These are still contenders over there. So if you put the Lakers in there, you say Golden State comes back to their, where they was. The Clippers are there. You know what I mean? The Denver is there. That's 4 or 5 teams that can they beat those guys? We know they could beat the 8, 7, 8s and 6. You know what I mean? But when you get to that 1 to 4, the game changes. However, I don't put it past that they can't. It's a big question mark. But if they add that piece with Caldwell Pope, but like I said, Phoenix looks very good, man. And if you add, let's be real, you add Chris Paul to any team, bro, it automatically changes the whole dynamics of the win-loss column. That's just a fact. That's a fact.
Like
now you add Caldwell Pope to that recipe. That's what paprika.
Chris Paul was added to the team, right? To Oklahoma City Thunder. They weren't even expected to make the playoffs. They made a playoff run. Now you add Chris Paul to Phoenix, and if they add Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to that team, they're going to do better than what we expect. That's what I'm assuming, and that's why I said 4 because I think they're going to shock some teams. Like nobody saw Denver last year doing as good as they did. Nobody saw. A couple of teams, you know what I mean? Nobody saw Miami doing as good. You just don't know who's going to do well with who, and no matter what conference. But anyway, what's your thought process?
Man, you put a Pope in Phoenix, what you got is a scandal. Listen, to me, Pope on a regular basis, except for the fact that when Rondo came in, he was the third best player on the Lakers. You know what I mean? So I don't know why they wouldn't hold on to that dude because there was times when Pope came in, he was knocking down 3-pointers like water, and them letting this dude go, they must have something big in mind over there on the Lakers, man. But this dude is a shooter, and so is Devin Booker, and we know what Chris Paul could do. And that kid, Ayton, man. That kid Ayton is a monster, man. That center they got down there, he's mobile, he's agile, he runs the floor like a gazelle. That is a formula over there, man. That is like you do not want to see that team because they got a center that can make some noise. I'm thinking he's gonna be even better than he was last year. You got Pope, which is a knockdown shooter. You got Devin Booker, Chris Paul. It's like, man, listen, that'll keep you up at night.
Yeah, and the reason why I think the Lakers are doing all this, let's be for the record, I think a lot of it stems from AD trying to figure out the money they're going to pay him, and then other pieces of money that they can't pay, they're going to shop and see if they can get, basically trade away some of these, these contracts to get, to make sure they can keep the players that they want to keep. And, so a lot of it has to do with money. I mean, let's be honest, because Kyle Kuzma's on the trading block, Caldwell Pope is on the trading block. Those are facts right now.
Ooh.
Now, they lost Rondo, they lost, they're going to lose both their big men.
Howard.
Yeah, they're going to lose both their big men. Depending on how they structure to bring some of those pieces back, they're building from AD and LeBron and building their way out. So now you got AD, you got LeBron, and now you got Schroeder. So they're building that way out to make sure they keep their team. And the one
thing we know LeBron likes, he likes shooters and he likes veterans. So let's just keep that in mind, because whoever they get, they're going to have to be like, they can't be no young dudes, because LeBron don't really like young dudes. He like veterans, and he needs shooters.
And let me add, what they call an asterisk next to what you just said. He likes shooters, but management likes him to like shooters who are coming in for the minimal, the playoff minimum. They'll get somebody on the team who can shoot, but who's also dirt cheap. That's what they do, and they've done everywhere he's gone. But speaking of trades,
I got a question to go with that.
Okay.
Will we see Carmelo Anthony on the Lakers this year?
Oh, I don't know.
Think about that. I
don't think so.
He don't need a lot of money.
I don't know. He don't need a lot of money, and he's a shooter now.
Yeah, but
that's his primary thing now. He's a shooter.
Yeah, but he's not as good as a shooter as he was. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know about that. He might not. He's not the all-around player he was, but he's a shooter. His shot is a shot.
Okay.
They rely on that, so you might see him on the Lakers.
Okay, let's keep this ball rolling. Mavericks now have inquired with the Clippers for Lou Williams. Depending on the money, if they could work out the money in the contracts and everything else, Lou Williams can land on the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm going to say this for the record, I absolutely love that for the Dallas Mavericks, because now they got a dog on their team. You know what I mean? What you think?
Oh, I thought you was saying what I was saying, like they got a black guy.
Oh, that too.
They got a black dog.
For weeks, we were adding these superb white players. Finally, they said, you know what? Check on that Negro. What's his name?
Williams.
No, I think that's a good match, though. All jokes aside, they need some. That's like what you said, a dog. He's a scrapper. They need a couple of dogs on there to go with what they already have.
Right. I agree with that. Fig, if they had Lou Williams and they somehow miraculously end up getting Kevin Love, like the talks are, now where does Dallas put them on that map? Like, how you see that play out?
Yo, man, all I can say is this NBA season, if Dallas got Lou Williams and Kevin Love, it's gonna be real ugly. It's gonna be like Halloween type ugly to match the orange on Talent shirt. That type of Halloween ugly, right? I'm saying Halloween ugly. It's gonna be awful. Dallas is good last year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? With Porzingis and Doncic. And they had what's that boy? Tim Hardaway, which is a pretty decent shooter. They had some shooters over there. You add Lou Williams, who's a knockdown shooter and can take it to the hole, and a Kevin Love who could be a knockdown shooter and get rebounds. Dallas is going to be problems, man. Yeah, problems.
They sure are. But now, since we talk about Dallas, we talk about the NBA, we got to go back and talk about the NFL. Let me bring in my man, Mr. Rodney Perry, because he always has a segment on this show where he calls it I Disagree. And before we jump back into the NFL, Mr. Rodney Perry, what do you disagree with today? What we said?
First of all, great show, guys. It's always a pleasure to watch you guys. And what I love about this show is y'all never cease to give me fodder for my segment.
So the word for the day is fodder.
Chris Paul to Phoenix. Done deal. Man, you gotta like Chris Paul, but so what? Okay? So what? We've been moving Chris Paul around every year for the past. Chris Paul family, they live in an apartment, okay? Because they know they're not staying nowhere. Like Chris Paul, I love the guy. He's a great player. But Chris Paul is on roller skates. They moving him in and out every time he gets away. You know what? I don't know how I feel about this place. Let's get out of here. Is he gonna make a difference in the Phoenix uniform? Maybe, but they're not gonna win no championship.
That's true. That's true too.
Not gonna win no championship. They can. First of all, it's too damn hot in Phoenix. Too hot in Phoenix. Who goes to Phoenix? It's too hot. They're the last state, last city to get the Martin Luther King holiday. Let's think about this.
What?
AD, this is my favorite part of the show. So AD opts out. Talent put on his little talent and the other guy. They put on their happy faces. Like AD is really gonna come to the New York Knicks. Have you not talked about this enough? Okay. That would be dope as hell if AD came to the Knicks. And I get the happiness. Look at the look on their face. Look at the look on their face. I love it. I love to see them happy, man. They my friends. I love to see them happy, but it's not gonna happen. You see what happened to Carmelo? He went to New York and his family fell apart. He lost his wife.
Yeah.
In New York City. You think AD can survive New York, go down there and lose 2 games, and then y'all turn on him? Talent be taking his box seats cup, throwing it out, selling his tickets for $8. Schroeder to LA in lieu of Rondo. First of all, Rondo gone. Now I never say this, and y'all can quote me, y'all can put this down somewhere. Fig is right.
Now which part?
Fig said Rondo was out of there, and he is. Rondo is gone. Rondo is already gone. Rondo, and I think Tyler said it as well. Rondo is time for Rondo to get his bag. Like Rondo respects this. Rondo know you get a chip, it might be 10 years before you get another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His chips wasn't back to back. It's a long time since he got that chip with Boston. So you as a player, you tend to respect the whole thing. And now he's like, you know what? I don't know when I'm gonna get this type of energy again. I'm going to get this money. Because Rondo got a little kid. Rondo got to pay for some college after he finished basketball. So Rondo going to get the bag, whatever. Rondo will go to Phoenix.
Uh-huh.
You know, Rondo will go anywhere they want to pay. I'm telling you, Rondo will play for the box seats. Squad. Y'all talking about Schroeder. Let me tell you something. Schroeder is good. He shoot the ball. He shoot all those mid-range shots. He'll take the ball to the hole. And he's a good floor general. You know, he's a younger version of Rondo.
Yeah.
And he defend.
Mm-hmm.
He's a real deal defender. You know, so I like that whole Schroeder, and he's a vet, but he's a young vet.
Yeah.
So like you say, LeBron, I like that. I like that. I like that whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I misheard this. Somebody said something about Melo.
You heard something. Somebody said somebody like Melo. Heard that.
First of all, we seen the Lakers make an adjustment this year. They really focus on defense. If you put Melo on the court, you have a defensive deficiency. You know, and it's not no diss to Melo. You know, I think he wants to play defense, but his knees and back say no.
Yes,
his
that's
knees
very
and back. And finally, let me finish my segment with an impression.
Oh boy.
This is Fig playing defense. ahead.
He looked like he's dying. Only Rodney Perry.
Yo, and Rodney, and that's after the opening tip.
They can't run down. Hell, I'll be honest with you. None of us can run down that court up and down that many times. Like,
let me tell you something.
Speak for yourself, brother.
Okay.
I still play every week. Speak for yourself.
Okay.
And I got a question, Talent. Is there another Talent Harris on Instagram?
My son.
Kid? Is that your son?
Yeah.
He's
a comedian.
I was about to talk to this young man. I was like, hey, man, where you get the name from? I said, I got to talk to Tyler first. It might be a family member or something.
Yeah, he's a comedian, right?
I had no idea. Man, we got to have him on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the first thing about asking,
Tyler Harris, what's the odds of a person having that name and being a comedian? I pulled him up. I hit open the shit up.
Rodney, the first thing I'm gonna ask him is I'm gonna say, Talent, do you have an analogy?
Oh, he got an analogy.
I was like, your dad got analogies all day. Do you have an analogy for us?
Young Talent got some analogies. He got young analogies. He's like, it's like the Migos.
Okay.
Think about the Migos.
All right, Tal, let's jump back into the show, man. So
let's go.
We were talking about the NFL earlier. We stopped talking about the NFL because the alert came in that Chris Paul came in. We didn't finish talking about a couple of things. I want to jump up there and say,
by the way, I'm on the Kyler Murray bandwagon. I just got on.
Me too.
I love that dude. I think that dude is
50 yards down the field in the air and almost getting sacked. Damn.
I think he's the real deal. But speaking of the real deal, let's talk about the Bucks. Tal, I'm gonna start this out with you. After the Bucks came in and they literally doubled the price, they doubled the points of what they played on the Panthers right now. Last week they stunk. This week they doubled it. They won 46-23. Antonio Brown got it going. He got a couple of passes in there. Are the Bucks ready now? You think they finally, that was their last loss we saw last week, and now they get it together? What you think?
Well, first of all, I got to look at the end of the next game schedule because it depends on how many tough games they got. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times in sports, we play up or down to our competition. Mm-hmm. So they're no exception to that rule. That's just sports in general. Last night, you always put your money on the greats after a loss. Mm-hmm. That's just a betting, man. We know that. People who bet, we know that. So I didn't have to worry about them on my betting tickets. I had to worry about punk-ass Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? Like them punks. I think the Bucks are on their way to closing out this season, maybe one more loss.
It sounds like you had bet for the Seahawks.
No, I hate this. The Seahawks been blowing my money for 6 games now. Either they win and won't cover, win by 1 point, 2 points, or they get blown out when they're supposed to win. I don't get it.
Okay, all right. Faye, what you think?
First off, on the Seahawks, they ain't got no defense. You're not winning no Super Bowl with no defense. They putting all that on Russell Wilson, and he can't carry. You can't carry a team for 16 games. Eventually, you're gonna need some help. Mm-hmm. But as far as the Bucks is, man, listen. Just put it to you this way: they added Antonio Brown. They got a shellacking. We talked about that last week.
What they get?
A shellacking. That's what. Young people don't know what shellac is. Let me tell you something. What happens is you buy an old house and it got carpet, and the wife say, "Look, I don't like this carpet." And what the man do?
They cut out like
pull
this.
back the carpet and see the wood floor, and be like, "Yo, man, we can fix these wood floors. All we gotta do is get this varnish off and put some new stuff on there." The new stuff is shellac, and that's what they got. They got a shellacking.
And y'all be mad. And y'all be mad at my analogy.
Yes.
But
listen,
might be the worst analogy of all time.
I think a couple of weeks. I think it's going to take a couple of weeks for them to really incorporate Antonio Brown to everybody feels comfortable with him on the team. I say another 2 to 3 weeks down the line, they'll be firing on all cylinders, and I don't think anybody, I don't care whether they're elite or not, will want to see the Tampa Bay Bucks in a few weeks. But I don't think they're going to lose, you know what I mean, a bunch of games. Like, you know, I don't think they're going to lose on the way. Like Talon said, it depends on the competition.
All right, Rodney Perry, question for you. Speaking of shellacking, the Pittsburgh Steelers did a shellacking on the Bengals yesterday, and Pittsburgh didn't even practice for the week because they had COVID restrictions. They didn't do nothing all week long, and they still shellacked the Cincinnati Bengals. So my question for you: is Pittsburgh really right now the best team as their record is 9-0? Because it looks, they're 9-0. And why ain't nobody talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Like, they're not getting no love on anything. No sports talk, national sports talk show at all. What you think, Rodney?
Pittsburgh Steelers are the truth. They're real 9-0. They play some tough games. They beat some good teams. But Cincinnati is not one of them. Cincinnati is horrible. You know, they're never good. I don't know how I even feel about people from Cincinnati, to be honest. And so I wouldn't look to that game as an indicator of Pittsburgh's prowess. But at the same time, that was a nice one. At the same time, I think they're the real deal. They got good defense. They got decent offense. The reason they don't get a lot of press is because they're really warm. They're not hot. They're not cold. They're kind of really warm. But they're the type of warm that you don't eat that soup. It's warm, but you don't want to burn your damn tongue. That was a good one.
I like that was a good one. Tyler, you want to answer that? You want to answer that? Why don't we talk about the Steelers and not even the real deal in the AFC?
I think that everybody thinks the way that I said. Like, even though they're winning and they're undefeated, I don't think it's believable. I think that people are waiting to go, see, there you go. They're waiting for that joint right there. And it may not come for a couple of weeks depending on scheduling. But I think that's why you don't hear a lot of press about Pittsburgh, because people don't believe it. I'm a hard believer when it comes to Pittsburgh. The only thing I give Pittsburgh for is they stay consistently good enough to always be in the way.
Okay.
Always. Remember, I tell you that. Pittsburgh's always, I have yet in my lifetime lived a football season where Pittsburgh wasn't in the way of other teams. Whether they get there or not, it's a different thing. But if they don't get there, they're going to be in the way of your ass.
Okay, Fig, I'm gonna ask you the same question, and I'm gonna even.
I think you know what I think it is.
Fig, hold on. Let me just ask you the same question, and I'm gonna even add this to the question. Do you even think they're gonna be 16-0, including what everything is we said? And do you think they're gonna run out and be 16-0? So.
No, I think they'll come back to the field a little bit. I don't think they're gonna lose a bunch of games, but I really think it's the Fatburger effect, man. I don't think people see, they were decent last year. I don't think people thought that Ben Roethlisberger was going to come in and elevate them to the way that they playing right now. And I think what they forget about Pittsburgh is that, you know, they've never really had like a losing season in the whole time that, you know, in their coaches reign over that squad. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. So they're always pretty solid. Like Talon said, they always in the way. But right now, they playing pretty decent on both sides of the ball. Nothing really knocks you out. The defense don't knock you out, and the offense don't knock you out. But they play good enough to keep on winning. And listen, they could keep on winning all the way, being boring your ass all the way to the Super Bowl, because that's the way you win games. Just being, you know, serviceable on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you got to play just enough. Rodney Perry, I'm going to ask you this question. Drew Brees got knocked out of the game yesterday. Drew Brees looked like, actually, he didn't play the second half, and New Orleans looked like a completely different team. Now, we all know.
Who came in for Drew Brees?
The kid who used to play for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the quarterback.
Jameis Winston.
Winston came in, and he played it, and they still were able to win the game. So I'm going to ask you this. Jameis Winston comes in. Do you think we could still see the Saints win? Because the next 4 or 5 games they're playing right now are very easy games. So, you know, they might rest Brees. You think they still do that? And should they do that? And can they still make a run? Or is that it?
Let me say this. Jameis Winston went to Jamaica and met with a voodoo doctor.
What?
He did what?
Jameis Winston went to Jamaica and met with a voodoo doctor, and he's been trying to snap the little bones to He's been trying to hurt Drew Brees for a whole season, and finally it worked. Let me tell y'all something. I said this at the beginning of the season. If Jameis Winston gets in the game, he will play great. He had LASIK surgery on, first of all, with bad eyes. The guy threw for 5,000 yards last year.
5,000.
Mm-hmm.
But he was throwing picks. Guess what he's not going to do now? He's not going to, he knows who, he didn't know what team people was on. He was just throwing the open guy.
But you can see that.
So are they going to rest Drew Brees? They might rest Drew Brees for the rest of his life. If Jameis Winston really start playing like he can play, I'm telling you, that kid is good. He's good. He's better than good. He might be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He can run, but he don't run. His accuracy is crazy, and he can see now.
His accuracy is off. Listen,
Frank, imagine this, Frank. Look at your glasses.
Yeah.
Imagine if you didn't need them tomorrow. That would change so much of your life, dude.
Yes, it would.
This dude had LASIK surgery. Dude, I had LASIK surgery done. You go from blurry to crystal clear. I'm telling y'all.
Rodney, I asked a question.
Hold on. Is that an analogy?
A little bit.
Rodney, let me ask you this. Does LASIK surgery clear up color blindness? Because the other team wears a different color.
No, it's not color blindness. But no. If you can't see, you can't see. It don't matter if you're colorblind.
You got a good point.
That's true.
I'm telling you, this got to affect his turnover rate.
I think
even if his turnover rate goes from 30 turnovers a year to 15, that's great.
Yeah,
I agree. I like Jameis. Here's my thing. How bad is this thing that took Drew Brees out of the game? Is something that's going to give him a couple of games?
It was a rib talent.
Yeah,
but how bad is the rib though? Like
they got to do an MRI.
Okay, so my thing is this: if let's say Jameis gets 2-3 more games, like get to play 2-3 more games and show what he got, we might be looking at a Bledsoe. Come on now. Come on now. We wasn't talking. We probably wouldn't even know who the Brady is.
You wouldn't. That's not a secret.
Let's keep it 100.
That's
so,
very true.
Depending on this injury, because all a person needs to come up and elevate their level in the game is, all they need is that break. So if he get 3 games, 4 games, is that Paprika?
Yes.
My man.
He did. One of the things, Frank, he did have the benefit. Not only did he get the LASIK surgery, he had the benefit of sitting. What was it? 8-9 games he sat for.
Yeah.
He get to sit behind Drew Brees. He get to sit with him, learn from him, see how he prepares for the game, how he studies, learn the playbook and stuff like that. He may come in there and light it up. I mean, 5,000 yards ain't nothing to sneeze at. You don't just get to do like an average quarterback. Just don't come in and throw for 5,000 yards, even though 2,000 of them was to the other team. 5,000 is still a lot.
Let's say this.
And he still got Camara. He still got that New Orleans team is not a game.
And let's do this for the record too. For the record, they have a much better coach than they had while he was in Tampa Bay. So it's going to all boil out. I think you're right, Rodney. I think we might see something with Jameis Winston, but until I see it, I'm not going to believe it. You know what I mean? Because the league ain't nothing nice, boy. It comes up on you real fast.
For sure. Especially when they're not game planning. When they don't game plan for you, that's a good day for you.
Yeah.
Keep the quarterback.
Yeah, look at Justin Herbert yesterday. Like they started game planning for him, and he threw a couple of picks in the game, and he didn't look as phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Get out of here. Justin Herbert is not amazing.
He's still amazing, but he threw couple picks yesterday. I was kind of disappointed. But anyway, that's the show, y'all. That's the show. To talent everybody out there, how they can follow you.
Hey, follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Talent the Comedian. I'm on Twitter, It's Just Comedy, and I'm on Facebook, King Talent Harris. Talent Harris Jr., that's my son.
There you go.
I'm following him, Talent Harris.
Fig, I follow you.
You can follow your boy Comedian Fig on all social media platforms at Comedian Fig. I might be up there on that boy page right there. Or if you mess around, you might catch me on Rodney Perry page because he He got his own website. Tell him, Rodney.
Hey, RodneyPerry.com, the website, and you can get to me all social media, Rodney Perry Live, and you can check me out daily on Box Seats with Frank Holder, Talon Harris, and the homie Figman Freud.
I'm your host, Frank Holder. Thanks for y'all for doing the show. Tomorrow we won't be here. Tomorrow we'll be back Wednesday, but we're always going to be here every Monday through Friday from 1 to 2. I'm your host, Frank Holder. That's Talent. That's Fig. That's Rodney Perry. Stack will be back next week. Checking the facts with Stack. This is the show called The Box Seats. It's on the channel called The Humor Mill. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Y'all watch it, and then even call your cable service provider to add that. Until then, we'll be back again soon. See y'all Wednesday. Take care.
Boom, boom.
Great show, guys.